This is my final animation. You can see that I added a little bit more detail, I changed the colors, and I added a background. Once you're happy with the way that your animation looks, then we need to loop it. To do this, I'll put my final animation into a new composition. I'll come over to my project panel, and then drag the house build composition down to the new composition button. That will automatically put my house build composition into a new composition that's the same dimensions, frame rate, and length as the original composition. Then I'll rename this comp to be house build loop. Then I'll come down to my composition and find where the finishing point of the animation is. So right about here is where I want it to loop and go backwards. First, I'm going to trim this layer to end at this point. To do that, with the layer selected, I'll hold down Option or Alt on a PC and press the right bracket, and that will trim the layer's out point to the playhead. Then I'll duplicate the layer by pressing Apple D or Control D on a PC, so I have two copies of my animation. What I want to do with the second layer is reverse the animation. To do that, I'll right-click on the layer, go down to Time, and then click on Enable Time Remapping. This will bring up two keyframes, and a new property called Time Remap. The Time Remap feature allows you to change the time code of a composition or a piece of footage to whatever you'd like. It automatically generates a keyframe for the starting value and the ending value. So if I go to the point of the composition where I want it to loop, and I set a new keyframe, now I have a keyframe for the end of the animation. Next, I'll delete this last keyframe because I don't need anything after this point of the animation. Then I'll select these two time keyframes, right-click on one of them, go to Keyframe Assistant, and say Time Reverse Keyframes. That will swap the two keyframes. So now my second layer is starting at the end of the animation and working its way back to the beginning. If I move this layer over, I can snap it to the end of the first layer by holding Shift. And now if I preview the animation, we'll see that the house builds on and then animates off.